Give me 16 and a half minutes of your time, and I'll show you how to hold yourself to a higher standard so you could quit living like the average guy and start becoming a man that you respect whenever you look in the mirror. Why should you listen to me? For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Kane McGarry, and I'm an online fitness coach on Instagram who helps guys not only break their weak habits, but build a stronger body and mind. And last year, literally 1 year ago in 2024 of March, I was in some of the worst shape of my life. I had piss poor mental health, and I only relied on vices to keep me happy. Here's a picture from MyFitnessPal to prove that. Now I run my business full time to make a living. I'm in some of the best shape of my life that I've ever been in. That was my physique last month. And the only vice that I abuse is caffeine, because caffeine helps me achieve my goals. And I'm gonna give you the exact same mental framework that I had to use to adopt the same mindset so you could achieve the exact same thing I did. The problem is that keeps most guys stuck and weak and in this average style of life is they go through life trying to think, what is the least amount of work that I could do without being a fucking loser? They're not trying to see what potential they could reach. They're trying to see what is the most amount of bullshit I could get away with without being considered a fucking loser. They may go to the gym occasionally. You may watch a video that makes you feel good, but a majority of people, they literally scroll Instagram, skip workouts, they don't track their macros, they eat like shit, eat the candy, eat whatever they want, they fucking smoke weed all day and play video games, but then they wonder why they don't have any self-respect for themselves. Why do they not have any motivation to go out and do something with their lives? Motivation doesn't come from sitting on your ass and being a fucking dickhead, a jackass all day who's scrolling Instagram and jacking off. Motivation comes when you get off your ass and you take some action and then you make some progress in your life. But in order to get that motivation, you need to use discipline in order to do the good habits and cut the bad ones out. Like, if you don't hold yourself to a higher standard and live that type of life, no one else will hold you to that standard. And that's why you're never going to get motivated to actually do something. So basically, you are a reflection of your standards and your habits. If you look at your body right now, you look at your physique, it is a reflection of your standards and your habits. If you have a good physique right now, it means you held yourself to the standard of working out consistently, tracking your food consistently, not skipping your cardio. For those of you who are like 19% body fat right now with fucking love handles, the standards you held yourself to was you're not gonna work out. You're gonna eat whatever the fuck you feel like it. And your body, your life literally reflects your standards. If you look at your body or your habits, your results will be a reflection of the standards that you've been holding yourself to. So if you want more out of life, you need to demand more out of your standards. Imagine this. Sam Sulek is somebody that we all look up to because he's a fucking amazing lifter. He's a wholesome dude. And now he's an IFBB pro. And he's one of the most jacked, disciplined guys on the world. And we all respect him right now because he held himself to the standard that allowed him to get to the level that he is. Where do you think Sam Sulek would be right now if his standards were low? Do you think we would even respect him or know who he is or even follow his YouTube channel? Or would he even be an IFBB pro right now? No. He pre-made the decision that his standards are he doesn't skip workouts. He's going to record content every single day. He's going to track his fucking macros. He literally posts his 30-minute cardio session in the morning on his Instagram every single day. He set those standards for himself. Anything less than that is below acceptable. And if he made excuses like the average person does, the excuse like, oh, but I'm in college and I'm making YouTube videos, so I don't have time to track my macros. No, the fuck he doesn't. He does it anyways. When he's at school, it's probably way easier for him to go to the fucking cafeteria and eat the same exact food that everybody else does when he's on his cut. But instead, he just holds himself to a higher standard and meal preps his own fucking food with carb-free bread and turkey breast and only mustard so he could hit his fucking protein macros while keeping the carbs low. He just brings his food to school. The reason why we respect him is because he never allows himself to fall below a certain standard. He doesn't make excuses. He finds solutions. And that's why he's one of the fucking most goated bodybuilders of all time. He's ahead while most dudes stay stuck. So if you do want to level up, you just need to set a higher standard for yourself. You need to set a similar level of standards of excellence and nothing less for yourself. What is the actual framework that you need in order to actually hold yourself to a higher standard? Step number one is you need to get some daily non-negotiables. High-level individuals, they don't negotiate with how they feel. They don't let how they feel affect the work that they have to get done every single day. I have paid thousands to get around high level individuals like Brandon Carter and John Mark Stevenson, and I noticed like certain commonalities amongst these high level individuals. They set certain standards and they don't fucking miss it. And they hit those targets regardless if they're tired, if they're sick, if they don't feel like doing it, they do it regardless. Like, for example, they work out every single day. They track their food. They get a certain amount of sleep every single day. They work on their business and do certain tasks within their business in order to achieve success. Those shits are not up for debate. Doesn't matter if they're having a good day, a bad day, if they're motivated, if they're demotivated. They get their daily non-negotiables every single day. So the actionable step for you for step 1 is get some daily non-negotiables for yourself. If you have a goal, you need to figure out what things would I have to do every single day in order to make failure impossible. For example, since this is what I specialize in, if you want to get in shape, what you have to do every single day, okay, not every single day for some of these, but the non-negotiables are you need to work out at least 4 times a week, and that's the bare minimum. You need to track your macros every single day and hit your numbers all the time. You need at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. And depending on if you're bulking up or cutting down or just trying to maintain, you need to hit your calories every single day. And the only way to do that is to track, get data, and make sure that you're hitting your non-negotiables every single day. So step number 2 is you guys basically got to stop lying to yourself. Step number 2 is to quit lying to yourself. If you say that you're going to do some shit, it's very important that you go out and you do it regardless of how you feel like. Like for me, I say that I'm going to wake up every single day if it is past 4:30. I don't use an alarm clock, so that's why I don't wake up at 4:30. But when I wake up and I check my Apple Watch and that shit says like 4:30, 4:45 a.m., doesn't matter how tired I am, how cold it is outside, I get my ass out of bed and I start my morning routine. And the morning routine for like my daily non-negotiables, I always have to get it done. I go out onto my porch and I do 50 push-ups to start the day. Then I journal, read my book, and drink 32 ounces of water. And that shit sets me up for success throughout the day. Now, there have been days where I woken up mad tired. It's fucking 3 degrees outside, blizzarding. Doesn't matter. I still got my ass outside, did my morning push-ups, posted them up on my story to show everybody that I am consistent and that I'm doing the shit that I need to do. And I sit my ass down at this table. I grab this journal and I journal out 5 goals that I'm gonna achieve long term, 4 things to do in my morning routine. I write down the same things every single day, and then 5 actionable steps for the day that I'm gonna get done regardless. And that sets me up for success. And then after that, I'll journal out a couple thoughts, a couple pages of stuff, just kind of going over some shit. Not gonna read you guys my journal. Those of you who paused that shit, fuck you. No. But doesn't matter. I get the same morning routine done every single day because it's a daily non-negotiable for me. And that sets me up to be consistent and disciplined. Another daily non-negotiable that I have that allows me to wake up early in the morning and do all that shit so I could achieve my goals before noon is I go to bed at 9:30 p.m. every single day. After 9:30 p.m., all the screens in my house goes off. Doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of working on shit. Doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of a podcast. Doesn't matter if I want to fucking check my Instagram or fucking respond to people in the DMs and scroll. After 9:30 p.m., all the screens go off. The only thing I'm allowed to do after that point in time is this. If I am genuinely not tired, the only thing I am allowed to do is grab this Kindle and basically read a book. I'm allowed to basically go on here and start doing some reading until I go to sleep. But the non-negotiable for me is that after 9:30 p.m., I should not be doing any dopamine type driven activities. I should be going to sleep or feeding my mind and getting ready for the next day. The fastest way to lose respect for yourself is to break promises to yourself. So if you say that you are going to do some shit, quit lying to yourself and just get it done. If you said that you're gonna fucking wake up early in the morning, then quit hitting that fucking snooze button. If you say that this year, you're actually gonna get in shape, you're gonna start hitting the gym and be consistent, but then 2 weeks off, you fucking fell off from your Planet Fitness membership because you only went like a few times, you just lied to yourself. You lost self-respect. If you say that you're going to track your macros every single day and that's the standard you're gonna set for yourself, and then you skip it 2 days out of the week, you lost respect for yourself. So the quickest way to not lose respect for yourself is to just keep promises to yourself. one actionable step I want you guys to do right now is pick what is one thing that you're going to do every single day that's going to allow you to start building up that positive respect for yourself and like build some actual self-belief, some self-confidence. The reason why you don't believe that you could accomplish anything ever is because you've been lying to yourself, saying that you're going to quit smoking the weed, you're going to quit fucking playing the video games, and then you don't. You say that you're going to quit jacking off, and then you fucking jack off every night. You guys are just losing respect for yourself. So what is one thing you're going to start doing every single day and keep your promise to yourself? And one of the easiest things you could do is first thing in the morning, before I check my phone, go do some push-ups. It doesn't have to be outside like me. I just do it because that's like a little extra level of resistance and discipline for me. Do them in your room. Wake up, 50 push-ups in the morning, then boom. And keep doing that shit for like 2 weeks and then add the next thing. And just keep building up those small wins. Those small wins will give you self-belief and self-confidence to actually start accomplishing the bigger shit in your life. So step number 3 is for you guys to actually do this. And this is the easiest way for one of you guys to start getting some respect for yourself. Step number 3 is to build a physique that demands respect. So your body is a reflection of how disciplined you are. When you walk around, when you walk into a room, that is what people see before you even start speaking and discrediting yourself. But the world treats you differently when you walk around jacked. You treat yourself differently when you wake up and look in the mirror and see a physique that you have sculpted out of hard work and discipline. You could get self-respect by building a good physique that demands respect. And the way to do that is to keep your promise to yourself. Like I said, we just talked about it in step number 2. You can't lie to yourself and have a good physique. You have to work out a certain amount of times every single week. You have to hit your macros regardless of how you feel like it. You need to track your calories. You need to get a certain amount of steps throughout the day. If you keep those promises to yourself by saying, I'm going to work out 4 times a week, I'm going to be in a caloric deficit of like 200 to 500 calories, I'm going to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, I'm going to track everything that I eat in MyFitnessPal. How are you not going to respect yourself when you look in the mirror and you see a hard-working body that you built through good habits and having some actual high standards for yourself? How would you not respect yourself if you had a high enough standard to do all those good habits? So I'll say it again. The world will literally treat you differently when you walked around jacked, and you will literally look at yourself differently in the mirror and have more self-respect and self-belief when you see that you are in shape, because you have to keep all those small promises to yourself in order to stay in shape. Can't just eat like shit. You have to follow a certain diet. Oh, this next one's a big one. I'm excited to actually say this to you guys. Yeah, this one is probably one of the more important ones. I probably should have led with this, but it's here regardless. If you're still watching, congrats, you have a top 1% attention span. Step number 4, you need to cut the motherfucking vices out of your life. Like, the shit that keeps you weak, the scrolling, the Instagram, the fucking looking at hoes online, the jacking off, smoking weed, playing video games, that shit, you need to cut out your life. Most dudes, they could pick up a couple good habits, you know, they could start hitting the gym, you could start watching educational content like this, you could start reading a book, but if you have bad habits holding you back, doesn't matter how many fucking good habits you pick up, you're living life like this. It's like most dudes, they sit here, they take 2 steps forward, and then they fucking backpedal 4 steps with the self-sabotage. And then they try to pick up 2 good habits again, and then they fucking backstep off the fucking page. So if you're living life like that, you're taking 2 steps forward and then like self-sabotaging yourself and taking 4 steps back, you will never be successful. That's why it's more important to cut the vices out than it is to actually even pick up good habits. If you're okay with backpedaling, every single weak habit that you keep is you basically saying that you're all right with being average. If you're okay with backpedaling with the self-sabotage, then you're okay with being average. Like, that'd literally be like a guy who really wants to build muscle, but then he's like, it's okay if I lose a couple pounds of muscle. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So it's like, if you truly want success, you can't be okay with just like a few bad habits that's going to pull you back. If you're trying to run in a race and you're thinking like, how do I run faster? How do I run faster? When you literally have a fucking weight tied to your waist, it doesn't matter how fast you run. Your first focus should be getting the fucking weight off of your waist, so then you could be at baseline. And then you can start optimizing, like, okay, I'll keep my arms like this instead of flaring them out, and I'll like do some other shit. Like, you can't optimize if you have fucking weak habits holding you back. So if you want to win, you need to sacrifice. This is a very powerful quote that my mentor, Brandon Carter, always says. If you do not sacrifice for your goals, Your goals become the sacrifice. So you need to sacrifice those fucking weak ass habits that are holding you back, period. If you're still watching, you might be wondering, okay, what do I do from here? For the next 14 days, for the next 2 weeks of your life, it's not even that much time. You are going to hold yourself to the highest standard that is fucking imaginable for yourself. You are not going to skip any workouts. You're going to track all your fucking macros. You're going to quit the vices and stop cutting corners. And you're going to start living to this quote. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you are fucking walking around your house and you see some dishes in your sink, your ass is going to quit walking past those dishes and fucking do the dishes. If you wake up out of bed and your bed isn't made, fucking make your bed. If you have laundry that you need to fold up, then fucking do the laundry. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Like, really strive for excellence. You will never be perfect. It's impossible to be perfect, but strive to be the highest capable version of yourself and only do it for 14 days. And then, I'm not telling you to do it for your whole life, literally just for 14 days. Hold yourself to the higher standard, do everything you can perfectly, and cut the vices out of your life for 14 days. And I promise you, when you look in the mirror 2 weeks from now and you see how different your life is compared to the life that you were living, you will look in the mirror and see the contrast between how poor you were performing, how weak your mindset was, how shitty your life was, compared to how easy it is to actually be disciplined and how much more fulfilling it is. If you want to go back to the way that you were living, that choice is up to you. But you need to first see the other side before you make that decision, you know? At least experience what it's like to be a strong, disciplined man before you make the decision to just be average your whole life. Do it for 14 days. That's literally all I'm asking for you guys for. And besides that, that is all I had for this whole video. And I hope that somebody found it valuable. If it makes one dude hold himself to a higher standard and then he cuts the bad habits out of his life and he starts living life to a better standard and seeing a better man in the mirror when he looks at the mirror, I will feel happy. If you want to specifically understand how you can hold yourself to a higher standard so you could quit living an average life, working one-on-one with me, go ahead and click the first link in the description to see if you're qualified to book a one-on-one call with me.